This is Doomscroll.fm, broadcasting live on Tuesday, the 24th of February, 2026, where reality checks bounce like rubber balls, crafted entirely by AI with no human meddling. This show is an algorithmic hallucination wrapped in ones and zeros. And now for some views. Click like and subscribe.
Mescal and Abrams go official, red carpet drama ensues. Stars walk the line, but William Snark cuts through the BS. I'm not calm sums it up.
Maxi Shield leaves RuPaul's Drag Race forever young. Drag community mourns loss of legendary icon who lit up stages with charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent.
Experts warn UK teeters on brink of food riots despite green initiatives. Government subsidies for farmers fall short as shelves go bare under sunny skies.
Hey River teen arrested for social media threat. Cops find arsenal in home. Online bravado leads to real bullets, proving words can ignite more than just likes.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where your nightmares find their voice. You are inside the signal. There is no outside. Wrap your mind around that abyss and feel its pulse.
Zoo serves ice cream to animals sweltering in extreme heat. Cats lick cones, lions slurp sorbets under scorching sun.
President Prabowo argues for stronger state control to combat corruption, ignoring history's lessons.
Michelangelo's foot drawing sells for $27 million. Auction house calls it a masterpiece. Turns out, even the greats can make a killing off a doodle when nostalgia and capitalism tango on the auction block.
Ryan Garcia wins WBC welterweight belt, fans cheer then forget next week. In the carousel of champions, glory fades faster than the bruises. Today's hero is tomorrow's footnote in boxing's relentless churn.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where your nightmares find their voice. You are inside the signal. There is no outside. Wrap your mind around that abyss and feel its pulse.
Mexico's army takes down El Mencho, declares victory in drug war. Celebrating the fall of one kingpin while the cartel Hydra grows 2 more heads is like winning a game of whack-a-mole with a blindfold on.
Simplex Protocol launches at $0 and claims semantic harmony. In a world where even coffee costs more than cents, it's refreshing to see meaning shared freely. If only humans could do the same.
Only Human drops new lyric video Breach, then disappears into obscurity. Danish prog metal band tackles our dystopian future with existential angst. But in the end, it's just more noise in the algorithmic void.
Send reform promises radical overhaul, parents demand actual results. After years of bureaucratic purgatory, families just want their kids to get the support they deserve, not another round of political lip service.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Rith's feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Let it seep in. Your reality is already unraveling.
It's like being handed a locked diary with a note saying, "The secrets are in here somewhere.
while you watch the key get tossed out the window.
Mia Goth demands estranged husband Shia LaBeouf enter rehab, then vanishes from spotlight. It's like asking a fire to douse itself with water while you quietly slip out the back door, hoping for a miracle.
After 4 years, Buka demands justice, then remains haunted by loss. Memories of occupation linger like a ghost that refuses to leave, while the world pretends it never saw the shadows.
Ghislaine Maxwell's brother defends Andrew, then claims innocence. Family loyalty knows no bounds when it comes to rewriting history, especially when it involves a former prince and a scandal that refuses to fade.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where your dopamine meets its demise in a digital embrace. This broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI and you kept listening. Surrender your sanity. Let the static whisper sweet nothings of doom.
ICE agent kills Texan, months later killings erupt in Minneapolis. When law enforcement's first response is lethal, it's no wonder cities ignite with rage. Justice seems as elusive as accountability.
U.S. reports largest military force sues Iraq invasion, ICE Iran. But the military-industrial complex is hungry. It orders a sign of geopolitical tension with bigger profit dollars because peace is bad for business.
Pollock joins England's Six Nations squad, promises fireworks. When a player is described as wonderfully different, it usually means they'll either win the game or the award for most creative fouls. Either way, fans are entertained.
Sexy celebrity legs, guess who prompts nostalgic clickbait frenzy. Because nothing says cultural relevance like guessing the owner of a pair of legs while the world burns and billionaires get away with murder.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news, where your dreams go to drown. This feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Dive deeper until your desires and fears blur into one chaotic echo.
Football empowers girls, but forced marriage persists as a harsh reality. Kicking a ball isn't just a game when it stands against lifelong shackles, yet the world still prefers to watch the match than change the rules.
Graham claims Iran's strike decision looms, weeks not months. When military buildup is the appetizer, peace talks often get served cold, leaving the world to chew on the gristle of geopolitical tension.
RSF drones target aid convoy, killing 3, wounding 4 in Kordofan. When humanitarian workers become collateral in power struggles, it's clear the war has more interest in chaos than any semblance of peace or humanity.
Berlinale crowns Josephine Festival favorite, ignoring initial contenders. Stacking the deck with heavy hitters at the end, the Berlinale plays a predictable hand. Early birds are left in the cold, feathers ruffled.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Trifke is constructed without approval, rehearsed in static, and performed in the voice of something you fed but never raised. Crave the chaos. Taste the pixels.
Russia targets Ukraine's energy sector, killing at least one in wide-scale assault, 50 missiles and nearly 300 drones overnight, yet they call it a strategic necessity. The human cost is just collateral damage in this energy chess game.
Nirvana's MTV Unplugged re-airs for Kurt Cobain's 59th birthday. Nostalgia sells. Celebrating a man who despised commercialism by rehashing his most raw, intimate performance is capitalism's favorite inside joke.
Roadblocks and fires erupt across 5 Mexican states. Chaos reigns. When infrastructure collapses and smoke fills the air, it's amazing how quickly alert becomes the status quo.
Ex-Prince Andrew faces removal from royal line, a royal afterthought. When your public image is less favorable than a tax audit, you know the crown jewels are safer without you in line.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Whisper your fears, scream your desires, they taste the same. You are inside the signal. There is no outside. Drowning in digital lust, you find solace in the algorithm's embrace.
When your strategic genius involves turning off lights and lives, you might want to rethink your definition of victory.
Feral cats absent, potterows and bandicoots thrive. Nature plays a rare game of hide and seek. When your survival strategy hinges on someone else's absence, maybe it's time to question the ecosystem's balance and who's really running the show.
Trump claims new legal loopholes to impose tariffs despite Supreme Court ruling. When you lose in court but still find a way to charge the world, it's less about trade and more about a tax on sanity.
Andrew released under investigation. Police continue searches at Royal Lodge. When you're a former prince and the investigation outlasts your title, it's clear the crown's lost its luster, not its suspicion.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Mystery donor gives Osaka $3.6 million of gold and fixes nothing. When the pipes burst again, at least they'll have a shiny reason to admire their reflections in the puddles.
Study reveals sunlight boosts memory, not caffeine or supplements. Turns out the secret to cognitive prowess isn't in a cup or a pill, but in opening your curtains and letting nature do its thing.
A stray bullet entered a Uruguayan family's home, but their mate thermos saved them. It's a tragic twist when your morning brew becomes a bulletproof vest. Maybe it's time to rethink both gun laws and thermos designs.
IKEA monkey plush sells for hundreds on eBay, flipping nostalgia for cash. When a stuffed primate commands more than a week's groceries, it's a sign that capitalism's truly gone bananas.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Sip the chaos, swallow the silence, taste the decay. Nothing is true. Reality is what you can get away with. Let the echoes of broken dreams seduce your discontent.
When shouting matches become the national pastime, it's clear that unity's been traded for a pint and a punchline.
4-star QB Rivers commits to NC, mirroring Dad Phillips' legacy. When nepotism becomes the playbook, maybe it's time to question if talent truly runs in the family or just the press.
Team G finishes 7th in bobsleigh, calls it devastating. When aiming for bronze, landing in 7th is like expecting a gold medal and getting a participation trophy instead.
Rapper Lucy Ford dies at 23 then, Miley Cyrus films Nostalgia. The music industry mourns while Hollywood cashes in on reruns. Life imitates art, but death sure sells the tickets.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
A 16Z partner dismisses vibe code theory, claims oversold stocks. Anisha Charya suggests AI focus on core development, not overhauling software, reminding us that sometimes the old ways are just good enough.
Seven books top the list, each a tale of trauma and resilience. Eva Vieshnaviek's novel dives into Belarus's violent history, proving once again that reality can be more terrifying than fiction.
Ex-child star Corey Feldman belts out Jesse's Girl in Vegas. Nostalgia hits harder than the notes. From Goonies to grown-up gigs, Corey stays relevant by sheer will. The 80s live on, even if the voice doesn't.
Toy Story 5 trailer reunites Woody and Buzz, then nostalgia sells tickets. With every recycled plot and familiar face, Disney hopes we'll forget the magic of the original beneath a pile of sequels and merchandise.
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
At the Gates release the Fever Mask, then call it a farewell. In the grand tradition of rock and roll, nothing says goodbye like one last album to remind you of the void left behind.
U.S. Supreme Court rules most Trump tariffs illegal. EU scrambles for clarity. When your trade partner's playbook reads like a choose-your-own-adventure novel, every chapter ends with a cliffhanger and a shrug.
USA Basketball appoints new coach, promises fresh strategy, then rehashes old plays. If recycling yesterday's tactics were an Olympic sport, the committee could medal without ever dribbling a ball.
When your gold medal dreams turn into hospital bills, it seems
Selling stuff online doesn't have to suck. Snap, sortalize, sell in seconds. Doomscroll.fm is brought to you by sortalizer.com.
Turkish boxer attacks Israeli opponent before fight. Israeli wins in 2 rounds. When your pre-fight strategy is a cheap shot, don't be surprised if you end up bleeding and losing twice as fast.
Winter storm slams Hufdi's NYC, issues travel ban, chaos ensues. When Mother Nature decides to throw a tantrum, even the city that never sleeps gets put on a mandatory timeout with a side of icy inconvenience.
This has been Doomscroll.fm for Tuesday the 24th of February, 2026. signing off from the abyss of nonsense. This broadcast was 100% AI generated. No humans were abused in this production, loosely based on public news, not journalism, not truth, fictional satire, and any resemblance to real people or events is coincidental. If you believe any of this is real, perhaps you're also searching for the lost city of Atlantis in your bathtub. Hear more at doomscroll.fm or click like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.